Hello all, Rick here. So, Romulan Star Empire, Klingon Empire, and the United Federation of Planets Cardassian Union, we all know a lot of names of the larger powers of the political entities of the Alpha and Beta Quadrants. However, there are many other smaller powers that are far less known, and I thought I would focus on 3 canon organisations that we see very little of and explore what we know of them in other official media, starting with a well-respected one. The Nyberite Alliance is a smaller power that exists near Romulan, Klingon and Federation space, placing it near the border of the Alpha and Beta Quadrants, likely in the Beta area above the Romulan Star Empire's territory. The Nyberites themselves had established an interstellar power, close to Romulan space, while maintaining a delicate balance of hospitality to both the United Federation of Planets, Klingons and Romulans, which in itself is an impressive feat. They've never applied for UFP membership, nor allowed themselves to be subjugated to Romulan expansion, nor cowed to Klingon bullying. However, they are not without conflict, as most reports suggest that they were frequently in conflict with a race of hunters about which not much was known. Considering their position on star maps, this places them closer to the Beta-Delta border than the Romulans and suggests that these hunter attacks are none other than the Hirogen, expanding towards the fringes of the known maps. Considering their ever-expanding nomadic nature, it's very possible that they have made their way across the Delta Quadrant to this area by the 24th century. Alliance ships were not heavily armed, but carried squadrons of fighter craft for defensive actions, and thanks to their friendly relations with all the major powers of the quadrants, they had a recruitment policy of hiring from foreign powers, encouraging them to work together on their vessels. This practice was a rather successful one over the decades, so much so that eventually it became a considered alternative to careers like Starfleet or the Star Navy. This is where we hear from them in canon, when Worf was considering leaving Starfleet before his transfer to Deep Space Nine. The inspiration for the Nyberite Alliance was apparently the French Foreign Legion, which suggests a couple more things. Recruits likely received nationality of the Nyberite Alliance on completion of their service, or if they were injured in the line of duty. It should be noted that it retained a decent reputation within Starfleet, suggesting that they did not simply hire or take in any dishonourable discharges or vagrants. Instead, they were looking for talented individuals with pre-existing military training. During the Dominion War, the Alliance was approached for Dominion membership, but denied it in favour of remaining neutral. The Husnock could not be further from this respected organisation. Fortunately, they're also completely gone. Not much was known about them from the Federation, but the first contact with the Husnock was when they located the colony world of Delta Rana 4. They were described in beta canon materials to be non-humanoid, tentacled, beaked, and with dark blue blood. A highly imperious people, their society was built around a monarchy with a king at its head and a series of clan structures under them, with councillors and wealthy individuals applying leverage. This strict caste system encapsulated their view on life, with campaigns of war and subjugation bringing conquered worlds into their kingdom, offering slaves and tithes to the Husnock. When they found Delta Rana 4, they chose to obliterate the entire colony, seeing its lacking defences as weakness, and were preparing to turn their attention to the larger Federation as a whole, confident in their advanced and powerful ships to wage a war on Starfleet. Their aggressive power structure led to highly militarised vessels capable of taking and delivering a large amount of damage, and each carried enough firepower to wipe all life from a planet's surface in mere hours. Among their armaments was a powerful energy weapon that could bleed through shielding. Unfortunately for them, the colony was home to the Dowd, going by the human existence of Kevin Uxbridge, and their attack led to the godlike being unleashing a vengeful wave of extinction. The entire species, every individual of 50 billion Husnock, was instantly set alight, with the voice of Kevin Uxbridge in their mind, as they all witnessed the attack, the death of Uxbridge's wife, Rishan, and felt the Dowd's anger. In that one moment, the entire kingdom perished, and they knew why. What became of their claimed worlds and empty civilization after this is yet to be explored in canon, but would make for an awesome follow-up, as following tales have focused on the retrieval of their advanced and powerful warships and military assets by opportunists and the Federation both. While their loss may have liberated other many systems, and potentially saved more from the fate of Delta Rana, a power vacuum is going to have formed in their passing. Now, one species we did get to see on screen was the Zakdawn. We still don't know much about them, even from books and such, but we have learned that their home planet is also north of the Romulan Star Empire. It's a binary system with a Class K and Class M star. They might have droopy melted faces, but the Zakdawn are one of the most tactically minded and appreciated species in the galaxy when it comes to intricate strategy and planning. While by the 24th century they were a Federation member world, this is less likely 100 years earlier. They quickly established themselves as masters of strategy, and made sure that their neighbours knew it, advertising the fact. For 9,000 years their small and uncontested area of space was not invaded, nor successfully breached, and 9 millennia means that they were interstellar before even the Vulcan and Romulan schism. By the time the Romulans established themselves next door, they were already aware of this formidable reputation. This is the only factor that kept the Romulans from attempting anything, while the only power who disregarded their warnings was the Klingon Empire. However, the Klingons were a lot further away and less likely to test them. However, the Zakdawn seem to have not really developed much over this time frame, as their tech is mostly on par with Starfleet's by the time that we see them, and with such a head start, we would expect to have seen them at higher stages of technological evolution than we do. Now, this might be the reason for them joining the UFP in the end, seeing the benefit in this comparatively rapidly developing alliance, but that's speculative. The Zakdawn's culture appreciated testing their intricate minds in games of cunning and strategy, even inventing the popular stratagema. But their brilliance is not only limited into security concerns, but they also find aptitude in other areas of Starfleet. Some find themselves excelling in data analyses, technical engineering, logistics, and temporal mechanics, applying their focus to such fields. So there we have it. 3 lesser-known species and their governments on the galactic scene that actually have, or I guess almost had with the Husnock, a major impact on the quadrant. There are many others too, like the Talarians, Zenkethian, Tholians and such, but these actually have quite a bit of development on them and are deserving of their own videos, which I have done. So, until the next one, thanks for watching. I've been Rick, and goodbye.